Hello from the Global Legal Hackathon 2018 Final Round Gala here in New York City. I'm Alex Muncey, and we're here on the road with Legal Talk Network. And we're back. Thank you so much for joining us on the road. Today, I'm here with David Fisher of Integra Ledger and Dera Nevin as well. Pleasure to have you sat with us today. It's been a fantastic event. We've just had the winners announced and the judges have given their verdict. We've seen all the pictures of all the teams. It's been unbelievable to see the quality of and the amount of work that they put in. So yeah, just get right into it. I mean, would you be able to, well, first just tell me a little bit about yourselves and the project and why you got involved?
David Fisher, I'm the founder of Integra Ledger, Blockchain for Law. I'm also one of the co-founders of the Global Legal Blockchain Consortium. And somewhere along the way, in the past 6 months, I ended up as a co-founder of the Global Legal Hackathon. So I think that's enough hats for any one person.
Certainly. And Dara?
So I'm involved with Integra as an advisor. I was a participant in the New York Global Legal Hackathon, and my role in this emerged out of that. David and I went for dinner on the Sunday night at the conclusion of the first round of the Global Legal Hackathon, and that precipitated a different venture called the To the Mars Tour. So I've been the instigator and tourist on the tour, the To the Mars Tour.
Okay, and the To the Mars Tour, I mean, we spoke a little bit about that earlier. You spoke about it on stage, traveling all over the world, jet setting, seeing all of the teams, and the idea to really sort of take this community further and really push it forward. I mean, it sounds like you've flown the distance of sort of to the Mars and back.
That's right. I haven't added up all the miles to see if it really would have taken me to the Mars or to the moon. But the idea behind the To the Mars Tour was following the first round, we saw so much enthusiasm and so much participation, but we knew we didn't have a very clear understanding of what all the teams in all the different regions were doing and why they were solving the problems they were. So the To the Mars Tour was intended to do a few things. One was to go to those communities to better understand what the participants were confronting when they went into the challenge and why they were solving the problems they were. We also noticed a number of communities were trying to solve very similar problems. So we thought that by understanding those problems, we could connect participants that were working on similar ideas. So for example, we saw a number of people essentially creating legal marketplace platforms, and we thought, well, let's connect them together. So by making introductions, we're hoping to accelerate the development of those products in every market. We also noticed that some teams had identified great local solutions, but we thought they had a more regional or global perspective, so we were encouraging them to think bigger than their own market, and it's because they didn't have the perspective that other countries could benefit from those solutions. And then finally, so in addition to just doing an investigation and creating community, there was a degree of ambassadorship as well as is really expanding the community to try and bring other people into the network and into the ecosystem. So for example, funders, accelerators, incubators, other universities and educational institutions to try and really expand the total ecosystem. That can only help the teams and the participants on the ground really launch their products. And so the idea behind the To the Mars Tour is everybody wants to go to the moon, but we wanted to just push the boundaries a little bit farther. We wanted to push them to the Mars.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. I mean, some of the common themes, or at least that I've sort of seen, or some of my takeaways, I mean, a lot of the teams have been looking at AI and machine learning. Others have incorporated blockchain. Some have done a bit of both. And while others have, in a way, just focused more on building capacity and extending a platform, either sort of tapped into law students and bringing those to then help or to build the capacity for private practice law firms to be able to deliver pro bono work. I mean, David, what were some of your takeaways from today's event?
Well, today's event really was a culmination of about 5 months of work. And it was a realization of a intuition I think we had going back to November, December of last year, that the time for innovation on a global scale for law, had come. When you look at technologies like blockchain and AI, these are big community technologies. You don't go out as an entrepreneur and create a blockchain. You don't create an AI. These are things that require big communities. And so consistent with that, we wanted to tie the world together And I think what impressed me today at the finals was how that idea, that theory, that intuition was fully realized with amazing teams, 6 continents, I think 9 countries, amazing solutions, everyone, amazing teams, really setting the stage for an even bigger, probably potentially much bigger version next year.
Yeah, fantastic. I just obviously wanted to tie that in because you did announce today that you're planning a Global Legal Hackathon 2019, which is really, really impressive. I mean, just for listeners that are listening in that would like to either get in touch or follow you guys before I close up, how can they go about tapping in and making sure they can follow this journey?
Well, a couple of things. I definitely recommend following World Hackathon, or it's at World Hackathon on Twitter. That will, I think, be the best way to stay updated. Certainly follow me on LinkedIn, David Fisher and Integra Ledger. Dera?
So I have been tweeting and LinkedIning under my own name all of the findings of my particular tour. I'm at Dera, Dera _Nevin in both cases. And so you can find out a lot more about the details of the teams and what was going on the ground by following me.
Well, thank you very much. We've reached the end of the road for today's episode. I want to thank our guests, David and Dera, for joining us today. I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please find and rate us in Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you next time for another episode of On the Road with Legal Talk Network.
If you'd like more information about what you've heard today, please visit LegalTalkNetwork.com. Subscribe via iTunes and RSS. Find us on Twitter and Facebook, or download our free Legal Talk Network app in Google Play and iTunes. The views expressed by the participants of this program are their own and do not represent the views of, nor are they endorsed by, Legal Talk Network, its officers, directors, employees, agents, representatives, shareholders, and subsidiaries. None of the content should be considered legal advice. As always, consult a lawyer.